What's up, you guys? Nick here, and this past weekend here in my hometown of Eugene, Oregon, one of my favorite competitions, it was the NCAA Division I Championships. The United States' best men and women came here and competed, and of course, in the men's competition, LSU ran away with it. But there were some really good stories, some really good races that I was watching, as we watched LSU want to run away with it. And one of these stories that I was really following closely was the story of the sophomore from Georgia. I'm talking about Matthew Boling. Now, if you follow track and field at all, I'm sure you've heard of him. They often refer to him as White Lightning. I think he hates that nickname. I kind of hate it too, so we're not going to call him White Lightning. But Matthew Boling, such an incredible high school phenom. I remember watching some of this kid's videos when he was a senior in high school and just shaking my head saying, how is he doing this? Well, he's now a sophomore at Georgia. Because of the pandemic, this is actually his first NCAA Championships. And we are going to watch and react to his 100, his 200, and the team's 4x1. And I will give you my hot takes on this young standout's first NCAA Championships. Let's roll the tape. All right, here we go. First up, it's the men's 100. There he is, the sophomore from Georgia. It's Matthew Boling, lane 2. And, I used to watch the kid a lot in high school. He's definitely put on some weight. He's looking a lot stronger than he did back then. But I was also not running the 4 as much. I think he's really focusing on the sprints, the 1 and the 2. I want to see a great start from him. The 100, the start is so freaking important. Let's see what he's able to do off this gun. And it's an okay start. It's not his best start, I don't think. I don't know if he's happy with that or not. But usually he makes it up in the second half of the 100. Here you actually see him start to gain a little bit. Leans at the line, and I have him down for 10.15. That's about 400ths off his best. So not a bad time by any means, but only good enough for 6th in this stacked 100. I don't know how he'd feel about that. If it's me and I'm his coach, and I know this is his first NCAA 100 outdoors, the pressure in that race, I think you've got to be happy with that. Maybe not his best start, but 10.15 in a cold Eugene day for 6th in the men's 100 as a sophomore, I think you got to be happy with that. Let's check out the 200, an event that he's actually the defending NCAA indoor champion in. All right, next up, it's the men's 200 meters. And this is really his bread and butter. There he is in lane 4. And I think, coming off the 4x1, coming off the 100, he's already scored points for his team. Great start. Leaning way forward, really getting out of the blocks. This is where he knows it's his time to shine. This is his, premier event. As I mentioned, the NCAA champion indoors. And, he has a good first 100, but these guys just start running away from him. His mechanics are breaking down a little bit here in the end, and he ultimately crosses the line in 5th place with a time of 20.28 seconds. That's 0.2 of a second off his personal best. I have Boling's personal best in the 200 down here as 20.06. That would be a disappointing time for me if it's that far off my personal best. Now, I live in Eugene, Oregon. I know that it happened to be a cold, windy day that day, so, we'll take that with a grain of salt. But if I'm Matthew Boling, I'm maybe a little disappointing on that. But I'm pretty, excited about my whole showing. We got to remember just how much workload this kid had to do. There's a lot of prelims and semis to get to these finals. So he ran several events and several races to get to the finals of those events. 4x1, 100, 200. His first showing at the NCAAs, I think you've got to be really excited with the volume of work, but I would be remiss if I didn't rewind it here. Dolphin, let's do the rewind, and let's watch this finish. I know we're talking about Matthew today, but I want to talk about this men's 200 finish because it's insane. With 100 meters to go, you have Terrence Laird there in lane 5, 6, 7, but the show is Joseph Fahnbulleh. It's the Fahnbulleh show. Watch this freight train gobble up track. Not the fastest starter, but check out this last 100. Press play. Boom. An absolute freight train. When you see him come off that corner, there's no way he could even make the medals. He's in like 5th or 6th, and somehow he just gobbles up track. I got to see the stats on this guy because that is absolute incredible last 50 meters by Fahnbulleh. But there he is, very close men's 200, a phenomenal race. Again, going back to Matthew, just a sophomore, lots of room for improvement and a lot of time to continue to get better and better at the 100 and 200. Now let's check out the 4x1, where I know he is a cog in the machine that is Georgia's 4x1 team. But a phenomenal race, and I just want to watch it. So let's press play on that. And they're off. That's Georgia in 3. I don't actually know what leg Matthew's running, but we'll watch here for some clean handoffs. And you just got to love the 4x1. I'll be real with you guys. We do have a drop baton out in lane 8, it looks like. Team in red. I think Matthew must be anchoring. Haven't seen him out there yet. But what an awesome event. Just a do or die. No room for error. There's Matthew in lane 4. Nope, it's lane 3. And he's got the baton in first. He's moving really well. But, oh my gosh, yeah, you just can't compete with Laird. Terrence Laird with a phenomenal last 100 there. 38-48 for LSU. What a powerhouse of a school this year. They are really cranking out some times, and that's why they were the champions. But I want to talk about Matthew's performance there. You know, he's a guy that likes to compete. I remember probably my favorite race of Matthew, watching some of the 4x4s that he ran in high school. He'd get the baton 10 or 15 meters down. The kid loves to compete, and he really values being a part of a team. I think George is doing a great job managing a talent that is Matthew Boling. So here's my key takeaways. He's so young. He's so talented. He has time to develop. And the question on everybody's mind, I know you guys have been asking in the comments, and I'm trying to get an answer for you. Is he competing at the Olympic trials? I have to imagine the answer is yes. 20 years of age, kind of that prime time, just entering into your prime years of sprinting. Some guys can go a lot longer, but when you look at the average age of the 100 and 200, you know, it's early, you know, to mid-20s. I really think that he has a chance to do something special at the Olympic trials. And oftentimes, I'm speaking as a guy who ran into Olympic trials, sometimes people even as important as the NCAA's is, they know in the back of their mind that the trials is even more important, and they're saving something. They're holding something back just a little bit, knowing that the season is not over yet. So I haven't heard confirmation that he's competing at the Olympic trials. If he is, you know I'm so excited to watch. Now, speaking of the Olympic trials, I've mentioned that we are having some activations. On Friday, on this channel, I will let you know how you guys can come out to Eugene and compete against me during the Olympic trials. But we have 2 special videos between now and then. This is the sprints. As you guys know, I wasn't much of a sprinter. The Bison likes to rumble for at least a couple laps. We are going to be doing this week reaction videos to the men's 800 NCAA Championship, reaction to the men's 1500, and if we have time, if poor Dolphin isn't too tired from editing these videos, we'll react to the 5K as well. 3 phenomenal races I definitely want to watch. I hope you guys will join me. Hit that subscribe button. See you very soon.